Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. In our Upanishad, there's a beautiful phrase that describes how one evolves from being a searcher to a seeker. Pariksha lokan karma chetan brahmanaha. When one reflects on their experiences and what their experiences can create, that is when one becomes a brahmana, one who is studying joy. A searcher is not one who's studying joy. A seeker is one who's studying joy. What is the source? And a seeker knows that this doesn't happen accidentally, randomly. This doesn't work on a trial and error basis. So this mantra continues with Sa Gurum Eva Abhigache. This seeker goes to a guide. Only by going to a guide can one rediscover joy. And thus, a seeker is one who's extremely intelligent. If I ask you to measure intelligence, it tends to be by IQ, by degrees, by how high you are on a ladder of some sort. But this is an indication of being very intelligent. A seeker is one who's used logic. They have not taken their experiences casually and now are going beyond logic to have faith in that which is an icon of trust. One's guide, one's map, one's divinity. This is exactly what Meaningful Mornings is. Our divinity is Sri Krishna. Our map is Gita. And the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Prince Arjuna, that is our guide. Often in the world, one can find a cure within a disease. As an example, in the venom of a snake, they are able to create an anti-venom. That's why if you get bit by a snake, it is important to know which snake you got bit by. The chances of that happening are extremely low, but you get it intellectually, yes? In the same way, in the effect, one can find the cause. If you have a gold bangle on, if you examine this, you'll find that the cause for that bangle is gold. The cause for the gold is the earth and so on. Making this more personal. In experiencing dejection, anxiety, and stress, if one reflects on this, one will come to find this is all because of change. When you sleep, there is no change. And so there's no dejection or anxiety or stress. When you contemplate, there is no change. You are being. And so there's no dejection or anxiety or stress. In being happy, if you reflect on this, you will direct yourself to being happiness. Let me elaborate on that. Being happy is a vritti. That means it's a thought. And what happens to thoughts? They come and they go. Rishi Patanjali has shared in the Yoga Sutra, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which means yoga is transcending the thoughts of the mind. So being happy is not enough. Searchers are being happy. If you reflect on that and you internalize this is a thought, that's when you start to transcend this thought to being happiness. That is not thought-based. That is natural. That is one's nature. The theme for chapter 13 is to differentiate. Differentiate with such accuracy, with such intensity. This is difficult, yet worthwhile. In verses 7 to 11, Shri Krishna is emphasizing purification. In verses 12 to 23, what comes after purification? Preparation. And this is all for processing the ego. If one differentiates the ego, one will come to tune into what's beyond the ego, the spirit. In verses 27 to 30, Shri Krishna shares, when one is immersed in the spirit, what will your sense be of? Your sense will be of, I can see. I can see what's beyond my eyes. That comes through insight. That there was oneness, there is oneness, there will only be oneness. The nature of oneness is happiness or anti-stress, anxiety, dejection. No moha, no bhaya, no shoka. In verses 31 and 32, Shri Krishna is sharing how one will feel when they're starting to live by insight. They will feel free. And Sarjana is deeply concerned that what he's doing is going to limit him. He feels this responsibility is going to cause papa. I'm going to be a sinner. But Shri Krishna keeps saying, na lipyate, na upalipyate. You are free. Whatever was done, whatever is going to be done, whatever is being done, that is all a game of the ego, which you are not. The game belongs to the ego. The ego is limited. The spirit is not, just like earth, water, fire, and air are more limited than space. And so they cannot corrupt space. And all of us get that. But what's required is space is limited and existence is not. If these can't corrupt space, Space cannot corrupt existence. You are free. What's the point of living in the past or the present? Living in the past or the future, or even in the present? You are the presence. Why would you live in the present? Why would you limit yourself by time? Just be. Shri Krishna is wrapping up this chapter in the final 2 verses. Verse 33. Another reflective verse for us to visualize. Yata prakashayatyekaha kritsnam lokam imam ravihi kshetram kshetri tata kritsnam prakashayati bharata. Joy. Everyone sees the yatha. That is this master teacher giving us a example. Prakashayati ekaha. There is one illuminator, kritsnam lokam, the entire world, imam ravihi. For this world, there is this sun. The translation of the first line, there is one sun, S-U-N, that is illuminating all facets of this world. Right now, the sun is slowly rising in Portland. It's 4:57 a.m. For you, it's already there, but it's the same sun. For those in Europe, it's already there. It's the same sun. Shall I continue with geography class and explain what time zones are and so on? In the previous verses and this one, Shri Krishna has used words that we are oriented towards, like pervades, seated, now illumines. In the effect, you have to find the cause. These words are only because we're oriented towards this, but these are not truthful words. The lack of truth in these words is there's an implication of duality. There is the entity, and then there's me. The accurate, intense term is illumination, not illumines. The sun doesn't know who you are. The sun doesn't care who you are. I'll read some of Pujya Swami Chinmayananda's writing. An action is that which has a beginning and an end, and it is generally undertaken to fulfill a deep desire or a silent purpose. The sun does not illumine the world in this sense of the term. On the other hand, light itself is the nature of the sun, and in its presence, everything gets illumined. The sun is a physical presence. Similarly, yatha tata, consciousness is of the nature of awareness, and in its presence, everything becomes known or illumined. How many of you intellectually understand what is being shared by show of hands? How many of you feel this? Someone recently asked me while I was here, how do you not feel dejected when opportunities are taken away from you? Remember, I was telling all of you a very special opportunity was given to me on Monday, May 8th, and taken away from me on Tuesday, May 9th. So he was asking me, how do you not feel dejected? And I shared with him that I don't live for a person, I live for a purpose. Even my guide is not a person. I don't love his hair type. I'm not concerned about the material of his clothing. And that's why we describe such peoples as an institution. Certainly they're institution builders, but they're an institution themselves. And since I live for a purpose and not a person, I'm not concerned what this person or that person is giving or taking. And what this feels like, that's what I'd asked you, is you stop feeling like you are a person. That's the training a guide can provide, where you stop feeling like it's my personality or I'm an individuality. Kshetram, that is the field. Kshetri, that is the master of the field. Tata Kritsnam, in the same way, the entire field, Prakashayati, is illumined by this master of the field, Bharata, whose nature is filled with light. This last line is sharing. There is only life. All that you've ever experienced, you describe it as personality, family, community, society, humanity. What is it in an accurate and intense way? Life. Shri Krishna has given us words to start to think bigger. Words like space. For most of us, what's beyond space? The sun. That rocket gets into space, but a rocket has never reached the sun. And what's beyond that? It's because of life that there's the sun, space, and so on. For anyone whose hand is not up, that I am not feeling what Sri Krishna is sharing, the reason for that is your mind is not reflective enough. You being at the end of chapter 13, you are most definitely reflective, but not enough. And with this, the seed for chapter 14 is being shared. How come some minds are more lethargic and some minds are more reflective? The illumination of the self playing upon our thoughts and emotions gets splashed to form the ever-changing patterns of the multiple individuals with their ever-changing behaviors, also known as the gunas. Chapter 14 is coming. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to rate your own purity. How many of you are happy with your purity? For me, I am happy about my purity because whenever I do that which is wrong, I feel worse about it. That's why I know I'm growing in purity. If I do something wrong and don't notice it or don't feel bad about it, that's clearly a sign of impurity, but I feel worse about it than ever. So for me, I'm moving in the right direction. Your application for this morning, you have been expressing your appreciation for meaningful mornings. We are on day 997 now. I want you to express your appreciation to Soumya. Soumya, who's been coordinating Meaningful Mornings, is actually leaving for Bharat, for India tomorrow, to go serve the trust triangle in a physical, visceral way. She has a one-way ticket to India, really one way. And we hope and pray that she reaches divinity. She's well on her way. We hope and pray she'll come back. But if she doesn't, we still hope and pray for her. So with that, I'm going to ask Soumya to speak briefly. And everyone else, you can write to Soumya through the chat, through email, in your own life. So Soumya, please share away.
Hari Om, Vivekji. Blessings of Bhagwan, blessings of Vivekji, blessings of the Guru Parampara, that I'm getting this opportunity to go spend some time at SIF again. Primarily going there to see if I can spend more time reflecting. The course was very intense in terms of Shravana. I want to spend some time on Manana and also see if I can do some Seva there. I will be back, Vivekji. Hopefully end of the year, but I will be back. Gratitude, everybody. Hari Om.
I know you don't want to come back. I've experienced the same. Be well, Soumya. We'll be thinking about you. We'll be waiting for you if you come back. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.